Hey kids, in this video we are going to work on Tinkercad, what it is and how to use it. So we've already set up our Tinkercad accounts and now you're on your home screen. Right now it will be blank. As you continue working and building designs in Tinkercad, they will show up here. Let's start by creating a new design. Tinkercad has something called the work plane, and this is the surface that you will be working on. We have a view cube which helps us adjust how we are looking at our objects and at the work plane. And we can also use our mouse to adjust our camera, our angles, and what we are selecting. Now, Tinkercad uses 3D objects to build shapes. And on our toolbar on the right side, we see a variety of these objects. Now, today we're just going to be using these as an example. We're not building anything in specific. But the objects that are solid shapes. There's a different type of object that has these striped lines on it. Those are called holes, and we'll talk about those in a sec. But let's start with a box. Tinkercad measures in millimeters. So when we put our box onto the work plane, we get some information. In our tool panel, we can see the box is 20 millimeters high, 20 millimeters wide, and 20 millimeters long. We can change any of those dimensions to change the shape of our object. We can also change the shape of our object by dragging these points and watching the dimensions change in the measurement box. If we want to raise our dimension or our object off the work plane, we can click this black arrow and raise it up or lower it down any amount. Now, one of the best tools you have in Tinkercad and many programs is the undo button or Control-Z on your keyboard. If I end up making a move that I don't like, I can always undo it and go back from my starting point. So now we have a cube on our work plane. Let's say we want to have a rounded edge on one side of our cube. Well, we would have to find a shape that would help us do that. So there's a round roof shape or a cylinder shape. Let's use the cylinder shape. Now, I can stack these objects, and they fit together pretty well. The problem is I want this to be one object, not two separate ones. So I can drag and select both objects, or hold the Shift button to select multiple objects. And using this button, I can group them together. Now the object is one solid piece. Let's talk about this object called a hole. Any object can become a hole if we change its state from solid to hole. The holes will be transparent, and when we stack them on top of an object, let's resize this one to be 10 by 10. These holes will do something unique when we group them with a solid object. Instead of adding to the surface, it will cut a hole through that surface. Now that looks good, but it's not centered. So that's not where I want the hole to be. So let's undo, and let's select everything and use the Align tools. And using these buttons, it can help me center the hole wherever I need it to be. So that's right in the center of this object. Now when I group them together, the hole will be perfectly centered in my object. Using a combination of solid shapes and holes, we can create any number of 3D designs. In this menu, we also have many other shapes. We have text and numbers that we can add or use as holes to cut into blocks. We have characters, so to make animals or people or all kinds of stuff. Connectors are small unique pieces that can be used to help connect strange objects together. Using your creativity and the tools of Tinkercad, you can make many 3D objects that in the future we will be able to send to the 3D printer and physically make. The more time you spend on Tinkercad, the more you will be able to create and the better you will be. Good luck!